Green Bay, Wisconsin, February 23rd, 2022, 3 a.m. Green Bay police receive a disturbing phone call from Tara Pakanich's boyfriend, Steve Hendricks.
County Public Safety, how may I help you?
Yes, I'd like an officer at 829 Stony Brook. Girlfriend just woke me up and swears that she found her severed head of her son in the basement.
Steve tries to convince the 911 operator that his girlfriend had found her son's head in a bucket in her basement. At this point, Steve puts Tara on the phone with the 911 operator.
Hello?
Hi, Tara. So, can you tell me what's going on?
Are you positive my son's head is in a bucket, a yellow bucket in my basement?
What makes you think that?
Because I looked in the bucket.
What did you see?
Exactly what I told you.
Okay, where's the rest of the body at?
No idea.
The 911 operator then asks her when she last saw her son and who she last saw her son with. That's when Tara mentioned her by name.
I picked him up from his dad on Monday, and he doesn't normally stay here. He doesn't stay here for a few days. I left the laundry. He was here a couple hours, then he left with Taylor, and they met some state. Taylor.
Who's that?
Girl. Taylor Coronado.
Police would race to the Pakanich residence, and once they got to the basement, they met a gruesome sight of blood and a black bucket with a beach towel on it. Officer Alex Winish slowly lifts the towel, and in it is the head of 25-year-old Shad Thyrion. However, his head wasn't the only thing in the bucket. Along with Shad Thyrion's head were his severed genitals. In the area surrounding the bucket were swirls of blood, as if someone was trying to clean up the mess and gave up halfway through. The officers continued to search the basement and found bloody knives, including a bread knife, drugs, plastic bags, and Shad's severed body parts. And finally, a big blue storage container, and in it was Shad's torso, and inside his torso was his foot. Officer Alex Winish asked Tara the last person her son was with, and she said Taylor Coronado, who also went by Taylor Schabusiness. And just like that, the hunt for Taylor began. Who is Taylor Schabusiness? Why did she kill poor Shad Thyrion? Why did she decide to dismember Shad's body after she killed him? These are some of the questions we're going to answer on today's episode. My name is Inspector Truman, and this is the twisted story of 25-year-old Taylor Schabusiness.
Hi, I'm Taylor Schabusiness, and I'm a very hardworking, dedicated individual.
Schabusiness was born in Chicago on November 23, 1997. Her family then moved to Wisconsin when she was in the 4th grade. She grew up in a financially stable household, but her mother was a raging alcoholic. In May of 2009, Schabusiness's father, Arturo Coronado, wakes up and leans over to touch his wife. However, he finds her body cold and unresponsive. It was at this point that she realized that she was dead. He, however, didn't want his children to know what had happened before they went to school, so he covered up the body and proceeded to prepare the kids for school. It was after school that he ended up revealing to his 2 children, Schabusiness and her brother AJ, that their mother had died. It was discovered that Marla Coronado, Schabusiness's mother, had died from cirrhosis. Her father quickly remarried, and Taylor did not take this lightly. Her mother had just died and her father just remarried, so all the trauma and sudden change in her life started to affect her and change her behavior. It should also be noted that at this time, at the age of 11, her father caught her trying to take her own life, and lucky for her, he stopped her just in time. It was at this point that he got her help, and she was put on medication which she took throughout her teen life. While in high school, she would meet Shad Thyrion, and they would spark a relationship. Taylor would always look for trouble, Even if she was on medication, that didn't help, because she was expelled from high school in her senior year for fighting. Due to that, her father moved her to Texas, where she completed her schooling while living with her grandparents. After graduating high school in 2016 and turning 18, Taylor Schabusiness decides to get off her medication since she was doing better. However, that would prove to be a fatal mistake. In 2017, she moves back to Green Bay and she starts self-medicating with marijuana and alcohol. She also started experimenting with a drug which she referred to as the bitch, which would actually be meth. It was through her new boyfriend, Warren Chabot, that she got her drugs, since he was also her drug dealer. The pair would spark a relationship and eventually get married in 2019 and have a son together. It was after marrying Warren that she would change her name to Schabusiness rather than Chabot, which according to her was Warren's idea. The relationship between Warren and Taylor was quite toxic, as they would constantly accuse each other of infidelity. Warren proved to be very controlling, as he would isolate Taylor from her family. In July 2020, Taylor would get arrested after being disorderly and getting too high on meth and knocking on neighbors' doors and kicking police officers. By this time, keep in mind, she was pregnant. She was given 3 years of probation and a mandatory psychological evaluation, since it was her first felony. After a month, Taylor engages police in a high-speed chase through Green Bay and stops at her father's apartment complex, where she was finally arrested. She only got 3 months in jail and 2 more years of probation. After serving her time in jail, Taylor decides to move back to Texas to live with her grandparents in an effort to clean up her life for her son. Another thing that contributed to the change was her husband's arrest and imprisonment the same year after he was caught dealing meth. In 2021, Taylor gives birth to her son and tries to be a functional mother, where she even started a small business making custom jewelry and selling it on Facebook. However, it wasn't always sunshine and rainbows. After her son was born, in the span of 2 months, she tried to take her life twice. Her father would later check her into a hospital where she was diagnosed with new disorders such as PTSD and bipolar. Her son, on the other hand, would live with her husband's family. To make matters worse, after losing her husband, her son, and being hospitalized due to her mental health, her only support system, which was her father, would get arrested a few months later after sexually assaulting a minor that got him a sentence of 12 years. Now her dad was gone. It doesn't end there. She also found out her husband had cheated on her. In February of 2022, Taylor was out of the hospital and she was ready to use meth again. So in order to get access to the drug, she rekindles an old relationship from a high school sweetheart, which is none other than Shad Thyrion, through a mutual friend. The pair would spend most of their time doing drugs and engaging in intercourse, which brings us to the night of February 22nd, 2022. On the night of February 22nd, 2022, Shad, Taylor, and a friend wanted to have fun and party. So using the friend's van, they would pick up Shad and go to purchase the following drugs. They purchased some marijuana, some meth, and last but not least, some trazodone. They then proceeded to Taylor's apartment and kick off their drug-filled night. They would use the meth, and when they got too high, they would use the trazodone to mellow it out. Please, ladies and gentlemen, say no to drugs. The friend would leave, and Shad and Taylor would deplete their drugs. However, they were not satisfied, so they decided to get back into the van and buy some more drugs. But this time, they would go back to Shad's mom's house where Shad lived and go directly to the basement. 5 minutes into being there, Shad takes out 2 silver dog chains. What he wanted was for them to choke each other while they engaged in intercourse. Now, because this is YouTube, I won't go into too much detail of what happened from here. However, I will leave a link to the full video of Taylor Schabusiness's confession down below. Also, the following account is based off of Taylor's confession. To cut this long, sick story short, Taylor would get on top of Shad as if she was riding a horse and start pulling on the chain. She then notices that his face was changing color.
I'm just like, I think I went a little too far, because I was blacking out while I was doing it, right? And then and then I look at him, I'm like, shit, he's already purple. I'm like, fuck, I'm like, I don't know if he's fucking, is he good?
She also stated that Shad would cough up blood. However, after she realized she had killed him, she had no remorse. Now the following part, you'll have to watch it yourself in the linked video down below, cause all I can say is, she went ahead and used Shad's lifeless body to pleasure herself and insert different toys in his body. This went on for hours. Through all these activities, Taylor got tired and decided to take a nap to energize. To conceal her crime and take Shad's body with her, she decides to decapitate him into small pieces. However, Shad's head, to her, was her trophy, or in other words, it was her favorite part. To spare you the gruesome details, she dismembers the poor man with a bread knife that she got from Shad's mom's kitchen, which she found very efficient. She then wakes up and proceeds to open the man's chest cavity and put all the body parts in bags. She packs the torso and his arms in a blue container. Due to her drug-induced state, she starts hallucinating and decides to clean up and leave because, in her words, the room was making her uncomfortable. However, she started cleaning up all the blood and gave up halfway because she was hungry, hence throwing the towel over the bucket. She then grabs his leg and leaves, forgetting the head in the bucket. That's when Shad's mom finds the head in the bucket and calls 911, and the police started looking for Taylor. The police went to her address and found her minivan outside her apartment complex. In her van were some dirty clothes and a crock-pot box. Outside the van were some blood droplets in the snow that led police right to her doorstep. The police look inside the crock-pot box, and in it was Shad's leg and foot. Since she had bloody clothes, the police gave her a change of clothes, and this was the first thing she said.
I hate this fucking outfit. Never in my life.
The detective asked her various questions, and according to the footage, she had no remorse at all. Suddenly she says,
Damn, my head. Yeah, I can't believe I let that.
When she was asked why she did what she did, she said,
Did you want Shad to be dead?
No, it was out of random. Like, I wasn't expecting that, and it kind of threw me off guard.
When she was asked what she felt like when she was strangling Shad, she said,
And you also said that you enjoyed it, right? And I enjoyed it.
Oh yeah.
At this point, police knew they had their killer. Moving on, Taylor is assigned a lawyer, and she was taken before a judge so they could decide if she was mentally competent to stand trial. She ended up attacking her lawyer that very day. Here's a video.
This comes only a few days after Schabusiness attacked Jolly during a competency hearing. According to court documents, the lawyer explains that due to the attorney-client relationship being broken, that he can no longer represent her.
It was also discovered that Taylor had a thing for Jeffrey Dahmer and would search things on the internet like Jeffrey Dahmer's butt, which her lawyer wanted the judge to exclude her search history from the case because, quote unquote, it happened way before the murder.
The searches that I had referenced earlier, Jeffrey Dahmer, Jeff Boyardee, Jeffrey Dahmer's butt, Jeffrey Dahmer walking into court, Jeffrey Dahmer walking in all sexy in court.
During the trial, Taylor never took it seriously and always made faces to the camera, and to top it all off, when her father, who was also at the time serving his sentence, was leaving the room after giving his testimony, she yelled, "Go Bears!"
I love you too. Go Bears.
After the trial, the jury took 1 hour to make their decision, and she was found guilty on all counts. Then, on September 26, 2023, Taylor Schabusiness was sentenced to life in prison without parole. To conclude this video, I would like to encourage each and every person who watched this video to say no to drugs and mind the company they keep. I would also like to offer my condolences to Shad's family. May they find peace and find a way to keep going. Anyway, don't forget to subscribe and like. Looks like my time is up. Till next time, remember to keep trekking, fam.